I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Bruce did not go around acting like a jerk. He didn't do that. Real tough guys don't act like that.
No.
Well, I mean, definitely in the beginning, I had no intention or whatsoever that what I was practicing and what I'm still practicing now would lead to this to begin with. But martial art has a very, very deep meaning as far as my life is concerned, because as an actor, as a martial artist, as a human being, all these I have learned from martial art.
He says, Chuck, I've done 2 movies in Hong Kong and they're very successful. I want to do a movie now with a fight scene that everyone will remember. And I want to do it in the Colosseum in Rome, like 2 gladiators fighting. And I want you to be my opponent. So kiddingly, I asked Bruce, well, who wins, Bruce? He says, I win. I'm the star of this movie. So, which I knew he was going to say. And I said, yeah, I see. You want to beat the world champion, because I held the world title at the time. He says, no, I want to kill the world champion.
Martial art include all the combative arts like karate or karate, judo, Chinese kung fu or Chinese boxing, whatever you call it. All those. You see, like Aikido, Korean, I can go on and on and on. But it's a combative form of fighting. I mean, it's not, some of them became sport, but some of them are still not. I mean, they use, for instance, kicking to the groin, jabbing fingers at the eyes and things like that.
Can you break 5 or 6 pieces of wood with your hand or your foot?
I'll probably break my hand and foot. Most of them, you see, to me, at least the way that when I teach it, all type of knowledge ultimately means self-knowledge. Mm-hmm. So therefore, they're coming in to, and ask me to teach them not so much of how to defend themselves or how to do somebody in. Rather, they want to learn to express themselves through some movement, be it anger, be it determination, or whatsoever. So in other words, what I'm saying, therefore, is that he is paying me to show him in combative form the art of expressing the human body. You see, I mean, it's a combination of both. I mean, here it is the natural instinct, and here is control. You are to combine the two in harmony. Not, if you have one to the extreme, you will be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become all of a sudden a mechanical man, no longer a human being. So it is a successful combination of both. So therefore, it is not only, therefore it's not pure naturalness or unnaturalness. The ideal is unnatural naturalness or natural unnaturalness. You see, actually, I do not teach, karate, because I do not believe in styles anymore. I mean, I do not believe that there is such thing as like Chinese way of fighting or the Japanese way of fighting or whatever way of fighting, because unless human beings have 3 arms and 4 legs, we will have a different form of fighting. But basically, we have only 2 hands and 2 feet. So styles tends to not only separate man, because they have their own doctrines, and then the doctrine became the gospel truth, that you cannot change, But if you do not have styles, if you just say, well, here I am, as a human being, how can I express myself totally and completely? Now, that way, you won't create a style, because style is a crystallization, that way it's a process of continuing growth. We use the feet.
That's
and then we use the elbow. And
use the thumb too.
You name it, man. We
use it all.
You have to, you see, because that is the expression of the human body. everything. I mean, not just the hand. And when you're talking about combat, well, I mean, if it is a sport, now you're talking about something else. You have regulations, you have rules. But when you're talking about fighting as it is, with no rules,
real fighting,
well then, baby, you better train every part of your body. And when you do punch, now I'm leaning forward a little bit, hoping not to hurt any camera angle. I mean, you gotta put the whole hip into it and snap it and get all your energy in there and make this into a weapon. I'm very glad to see that, because at least somebody is caring for their own body, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good sign. Well, it's a kind of a slow form of exercise, which is called Tai Chi Chuan. Now, it's more of an exercise for the elderly, not so much for the young.
Give me a demonstration. Show me. Can you do it? A little bit of it? Just.
I mean, the hand-wise is very slow.
How is it?
And you push it out, but all the time you are keeping the continuity going. Bending, stretching, everything. Suppose, I mean, you just keep it moving. To them, you see, the idea is running water never grows stale. So you got to just keep on flowing. To me, ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. Now, it is very difficult to do. I mean, it is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky and be flooded with a cocky feeling and then feel like pretty cool and all that. Or I can make all kinds of phony things, you see what I mean? Blinded by it. Or I can show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly, that, my friend, is very hard to do. And you have to train. You have to keep your reflexes so that when you want it, it's there. When you want to move, you're moving. And when you move, you are determined to move. Not taking 1 inch, not anything less than that. If I want to punch, I'm going to do it, man, and I'm going to do it, you see. So, I mean, so that is the type of thing you have to train yourself into it, to become one with the, you think?
Yeah.
Well, you see, the title of that particular episode of Longstreet is called The Way of the Intercepting Fist. Now, I think the successful ingredient in it was because I was being Bruce Lee.
Yourself.
Myself, right. And did that part, just express myself, like I say, honestly express myself at that time. And
my first trip to Hong Kong with my good friend Bruce Lee. He said, come on, we're going to make a movie, you can be the villain. I said, sure. Why not? And I flew over to Hong Kong and I was the villain. And that ended up being the last movie that he made.
Yeah, it's a great photo though.
Oh yeah, it was fun working with Bruce. He was a great guy.
The thing is, Bruce was a very rare type of individual. Exercise, conditioning was his life. And when I did the movie with him, and doing that fight scene with him, just seeing how fast he was and what an incredible athlete he was, it was really an honor to be able to fight against him in this film.
You still think of yourself Chinese, or do you ever think of yourself as North American?
You know what I want to think of myself? As a human being. Because, I mean, I don't want to sound like, as Confucius say, but under the sky, under the heaven, man, there is but one family. It just so happened, man, that people are different.